Alright guys, welcome back to Crypto Harmonics. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Feathercoin. I'm going to show you guys what triggered here for me to buy Feathercoin at 1900 Satoshis. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about a few fundamentals with Feathercoin that causes me to like this trade even more. But before we do that, I'm going to show you guys Salt. We talked about Salt in the last video. I'm going to show you guys what's been going on with that. It's just been whipsawing around. I'm going to show you where I'm at on some hard targets there. And then we're also going to take a look at MadeSafe, Power Ledger, 0x. I'm going to show you my entries on there. You guys that are in the trade room already know about them, but I want to shoot a video just kind of showing some of the targets that I'm looking for on these cryptos. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's start with Salt here. Salt's been just all over the place. So you guys know from the last video, this gray box was the area I was looking at. It went right in there, fell out of there. I took a little bit of profits, but because of the bullishness of this, I was kind of actually aiming for this higher target here. When it came back down to my original entry, I just took, the profits that I had taken off here, I put it back in to Salt again and wrote it back up, took it off again, and I did not re-enter when it came back in here, but my remaining portion that's in there, I am probably going to offload most of it if it'll come and touch this red line here, or maybe even a little bit before. So I'd like to see it go up there. Now, that's for trade purposes. If you're holding Salt in your long-term portfolio, by all means, go ahead and hold it. This is just for me. I am going to keep a portion of it for my longer term portfolio and for possibly even trying out the lending platform when it comes out. But for trade purposes, if this will just come up right now and bump up into this red line, I'll go take my Salt profits and just go back into Bitcoin. Okay, another one I mentioned too was 0x, and I think it had made this move up, and then with Bitcoin's huge run, it just got slammed down right into my entry, and I took that there, and it had this nice bounce after that, and that's one of the things I love about these harmonic patterns is it allows you just to see these seemingly random places where price will reverse. Because who's to say that price should have reversed right there? There's no previous support there or anything like that. But these harmonic patterns allow you to see out into the future, if you will, and see some price reversal there. So that's exactly what happened. I kept a tight stop because I really didn't have any support to go off of. So I wasn't really willing to risk a huge stop loss on this. And, I mean, it hasn't actually hit my first target yet, so I'm not going to rejoice quite yet with it. But it is having a good start, especially relative to Bitcoin right now. I think in dollar terms, it's obviously going up as well. But if I can outpace Bitcoin a little bit here, and this is my first target, really, actually, this is my only target. If it'll hit this, I'll go completely out and just sell back into Bitcoin at, roughly 2100, or let's see. Yeah, that's 2100 Satoshis. So I'm cool with that. Right now, we're sitting at about 1700 Satoshis, and my entry was at 1400 Satoshis. So that would be some really good profits there. Okay, let's look at some of my other entries. So this is MadeSafe. This was a good place for me to get in at roughly 2,800 Satoshis when Bitcoin had this huge move. It hit right here again. This is a deep crab pattern, and it hit right on my spot there. Again, another somewhat tight stop loss. If I go back here, this is on the daily, right? So these candles are from like 2015, the end of 2015, so a couple of years ago. You can see it dipped down here. So I'm going to I'm actually going to move my stop loss up a little bit. So my stop loss will be, around 1700 Satoshis. And my target is a high one, but I like it because you can see this is kind of the median price it likes to come back to in Satoshi terms. So if MadeSafe is going to track up with the rest of the crypto market, I don't see any reason why it couldn't pop back up into here. And that's a really strong move relative to Bitcoin. And if I scroll in here a little bit, that's going to be, since these are daily candles here, you know, that could be, other than it having, if it has a moonshot or something like that, this could take a really long time. In fact, I actually want to move the target more down to this area. Let's call it 7,700 Satoshis right in there. So that's kind of my target on there. That could take, you know, weeks or even months to play out. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of that's where my entry was on MadeSafe there. And it's probably, it may, even if it'll retrace a little bit, it might be a decent place to get some around this area here. Okay, so the next one is Power Ledger, and this is one that I was really interested in from the get-go with their ICO. I didn't actually participate in the ICO. I really wanted to, and there's just so many things in crypto. It just moves so fast. But yeah, this is one that I definitely wanted to add to my portfolio. It had this massive run up, but so I was just like, well, I'm just gonna hold Bitcoin until it makes another move down. And you can see it had this leg down, this up, and that wasn't a pattern for me. But this is when it comes back down and does this extension over here. This green line was a perfect entry at around 3,200 Satoshis. And you can see it's up to close to 4,200 right now. For trade purposes, if any of you guys in the trade room took this, and if anyone wants to join the trade room, just click the link below. It's free. And I just kind of post stuff in there as it happens. So this was consolidating in this box, and I posted a picture saying, hey, this is where I'm picking up Power Ledger. You know, I did it with Salt, MadeSafe, all these charts that we're looking at in these videos. I post beforehand. I just don't have time to make videos every time trade signals. But yeah, so this came out of this box nicely, made a move up. And so I would just be looking for this target right here. But since I am holding longer term, also because I wanted this to be part of my portfolio, I will only take some profits there and then stash away some in a longer term portfolio for me. Okay, let's look at Lisk. Okay, so I want to look at Lisk because I want to show not just my winners, but I also want to show my losers, because I think that's fair. And I think that, you know, if you evaluate yourself correctly, you won't just sit here and lie to yourself and say, oh, well, I would have made all this money and stuff. You can actually be real and figure out, hey, maybe there's a solution to, you know, what I'm doing. As far as this trade goes, this is just a loss. And so a loss is a loss, and that's okay. As long as you keep your losses small and your wins big, you will make money. So this one, it started off good. You can see it tried to make a run up there and almost hit our target, but then BTC had this huge run up, and Lisk just couldn't match up with Bitcoin right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it bumps up on this area and falls back again, but you know, that's just speculation. I don't have any other trades on Lisk right now, but so I went back into Bitcoin looking for other trades right now. Okay, and before we look at the last one, which is Feathercoin, show you what I'm looking at on Feathercoin there. I want to look at Litecoin. So it's just had this huge run up. And in fact, our contest closes in about 2.5 hours. So basically, whoever guessed the highest is going to win. So I will let you know if you're the winner on there. I got the comments disabled for obvious reasons right now, but I will put them back up and everyone can see their guesses, and I will send the winner $50 worth of Litecoin. So let's see, we had this nice breakout, right? So in the trade room, I was looking at this. I was wanting it to come down, and I don't know why I have this on here. That shouldn't be on there. I was wanting it to come down. I do actually have a trend line over here, and I wanted it to come down and kind of touch it, but it did not. And as soon as it started making that run, like approaching new highs, I was like, you know what? This thing's about to take off, because for a lot of people coming into the crypto space from Coinbase, BTC is too high. Bitcoin is what everybody's getting into. But what's happening is people are saying, well, I want to get a whole something. I don't want to get a partial BTC, right? And so if you have, now you need $15,000, $16,000 to just get one Bitcoin. Well, Litecoin was sitting at around $100. And so for a lot of people, they say, well, I like the whole round number of being able to have one whole Litecoin or two whole Litecoin or 10 Litecoin. And so a lot of people are coming into Litecoin and through fiat and driving this price up. Now this thing slammed all the way up to, gosh, right at around $200, $199 on Coinbase at least. Now I don't think it went that high on all the other exchanges, but I want to show you guys what I was looking at as well. Not just that, because that's kind of a fundamental analysis of Litecoin, saying, well, a lot of people are going to want to pick some up that are coming into the crypto space, and Bitcoin's gotten too expensive for them, so they're like, hey, I want to get some Litecoin. So this is what I was looking at here. You can see this is a range. There's a range with Litecoin Bitcoin that it loves to go to, and that's the 0.01 to 0.02. And if I scroll out to the daily here, we can take a look at this and see. I did have it boxed in, but it's basically here. I'll go ahead and box it in for you guys. This is the 0.01 to 0.02 range, and this is where Litecoin wants to be. Okay, so you can see it's had a little spikes out of that range, and it immediately falls back into it. It's had drops down here, but it, and then spikes over here. This is in the early part, right before, right kind of at the beginning of the crypto boom this year. You can see it spiked up to 0.019 and then fell back down. So it loves this range. So whenever you see the Litecoin Bitcoin ratio in or out, you can kind of have an indicator of whether it's under or overvalued relative to Bitcoin. And with it sitting down here at, gosh, 0.005, I mean, we were at least due a double move, a 2x move right there. So that's another thing that I was looking at, not just the LTC USD price, but I was also looking at the LTC BTC, because obviously sitting down here, we're undervalued. Litecoin has become really undervalued at this price. And then you can see it shot right back into the heart of that thing and is sucked back to the lower range. I wouldn't be surprised if it, maybe tries to retest this area up in here. But I'll definitely be watching the close of this daily candle here. That should be interesting, especially if we can close kind of over some of this 0.01 stuff. But anyways, that's just something that you guys can keep your eyes on if you want to switch back and forth between Bitcoin and Litecoin. That's a good way to do that. All right, so let's end this thing with Feathercoin here. This is hopefully my trade of the week. We'll see, or maybe the month. I don't know. But I got my entry here around 1900 Satoshis. I'm looking for a target, first target of around 2600 Satoshis. I would have to put a stop loss below X here. So at around 11 or 1200 Satoshis there. So that's where my stop loss would be. This is a Gartley pattern that showed up and triggered at 1900 Satoshis. So I went ahead and took that based on the technicals. Even though Bitcoin's been having this massive run up, it was kind of a gamble, and it fell a little bit more, and then it has popped back up to my original entry here. But let me talk a little bit about some of the fundamentals on Feathercoin. So we can see here on CoinMarketCap, Feathercoin sitting at around 28, 29 cents with a market cap of 50 million USD. a 24-hour volume, about $500,000. You can see the circulating supply, max supply, all that stuff. For me, what struck me with Feathercoin was the how long it's been around. So it's actually been around for 4.5 years, since May of 2013. And it is a fork off Litecoin, like Litecoin was off of Bitcoin. So maybe you could call Feathercoin the Bitcoin's grandchild, maybe long lost grandchild. I don't know. I've seen it written somewhere that, you know, Litecoin is the silver to Bitcoin's gold, and that Feathercoin might be the bronze, right? So we'll see. I know that that's probably the developers' desire to see Feathercoin be that bronze, but you know, I'm not going to go into a huge thing with these guys. I might shoot a whole video on it if they turn out to be really cool. I'm still doing a lot of research on them and stuff, but there's not a lot out there on these guys. I mean, you can go to their website here, feathercoin.com, and it'll talk about everything that they have there, and they have a forum and everything like that. But you know, one of the things is their blocks are 1 minute, you know, whereas Litecoin is 2.5 minutes. They have a 1 minute, and then they do retargeting as far as the mining difficulty is retargeted every block. And so there's a few coins that are doing that now, but these guys I think have been doing that a while, if I'm not mistaken. So anyways, you can read up on them, but I just think overall, I think this, when the technicals and then there's some fundamentals, I mean, what's to stop with all the crypto hype going on right now? And it's just craziness. You know, what's to stop some investors coming in and, you know, dumping some money on this thing and pumping this thing up, you know, 3, 4, 5x? I mean, that's not unreasonable in this market, in this, you know, time that we're in here. So I could definitely see that happening, especially if investors come in and look like I did and say, hey, I want to see what coins have been around for a while, not just what just popped up in 2017 when the hype started, but is there some coins that have actually been working and being used, and their blockchain has been around for a while, and this is one that has 4.5 years of experience. So I think investors would like that. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. You know, I could be completely wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Do your own research, right? So I think that does it for me. That's all the trades that I'm looking at currently right now. Again, if you want to stay up to the date, you know, probably 2 or 3 times a day I've been posting in the trade room now. It's just been pretty active with all the craziness going on. So you can click, join the link, and join us in there and say hey. Otherwise, I will catch you guys possibly Monday.